Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you guys are new here, my name is Kish is Ronnie. I guess you can consider me an entrepreneur. I do my own thing. I do have different income sources, but my main is buying and reselling a lot electronics. But as you guys can see, if you scroll through my channel, I do have other income streams that I'm definitely working on long term. So if you are new here, definitely hit that little subscription button down below. Join the family because I do release videos like these and do talk about other topics, not even related to my income streams, just things about mentality, entrepreneurship, income, and stuff like that. So again, I appreciate you being here. And so today's video, I'm actually going to talk to you guys about the 10 habits of rich people. And basically how I got the idea was one thing I've been really trying to do because I just really want to work on self-improvement is reading, and I think that's very valuable and something all of you should start to get into. To be honest, I hate reading, but I love reading books that kind of better myself and help me learn new things as I go along on my entrepreneurship journey. So a lot of these 10 tips I got from, well, all of them I got from this book. I ended up picking up. I'm just part of the local library, and they do have a lot of great selections there. So if you guys are interested, you'll probably find this at your local library as well. But it's called The Rich Habits, The Daily Success Habits of Wealthy Individuals by Thomas C. Corley, and he has like a CPA. But it's a pretty short book. I think it's like 70 pages or a couple pages over that, but it's a really quick read. Probably can read it in one day because it is super interesting, but he kind of lays it out as a perspective of different people and their different incomes. And one thing, like I'm not really going to talk about the book, but rather the main points that he makes. And he basically gives 10 different habits that you should have in your daily lives that will really make you more successful and in a sense make you more wealthy. And obviously wealthy is kind of based on your own opinion, but it really just kind of depends on what you want to take out of this video. For me, I'll be honest, I'm working on all these habits, these 10. All 10 of them I'm not currently doing. But with that said, as long as I'm slowly implementing at least one or two of them, let's say every couple weeks, I'm making progress. So the first one I'm going to talk about, and I do have my whole list here, so pretty long, and I do want to talk about every single one of them. So stick around for the end. Throughout the entire video, and if you guys do enjoy, definitely give the video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. But the first one is, I will form good daily habits and follow these good daily habits each and every day. So he kind of lays the foundation there, but good habits is obviously, it depends on what you consider good habits. But for me, that can include anything like exercising, reading, really anything like that, but it also can include what you don't do. So let's say you want to quit smoking. A good daily habit is to not smoke. And that's just something you can either write these down or just have them in your head, but just kind of having the mentality of having good daily habits. This point is more about the idea of being daily and having habits that way, because if anybody you look up that is successful, they have a habit. They wake up at this time, they do this for a couple hours, they plan out their days. Even the really successful ones have teams that literally plan out their days in the most successful way that they see fit to make it the most organized and the most productive. It's all about having those daily habits. Yes, our lives are changing every single day, but let's say you have a 9-to-5 job. You can easily create a habit from that by simply, let's say, waking up at 5 a.m., going to exercise for an hour, going home, getting dressed, maybe reading 20-30 pages before you go out to work of a book, driving, going to work from 9 to 5, getting home, and then working on whatever you want in terms of entrepreneurship. Or if you just, even if you're not an entrepreneur and you just want to have good habits, you just go home and let's say spend 15 minutes sitting down with your wife and talking about the day, hang out with your kids for an hour, watching Netflix, and then going to bed. It's the idea of having good daily habits, but again, you have to include what you don't want to have in there, because those are habits of not doing. So that's it for the first point. The second one is, I will set goals for each day, for each month, for each year, and for the long term. I will focus on my goals each and every day. So this obviously is all about setting goals. You want to have goals for each day, for each month, and for each year. And really the only way you can accomplish these is really having a set kind of good daily habits. And obviously we can't follow these habits necessarily every single day because our lives are all different in some sense, but as long as we're consciously knowing what we're doing and we're consciously knowing what we should not be doing in the day to help better ourselves, that's where progress comes in all of this. So for me, one thing I've started doing is writing my goals down every single day in the morning, or even the night before. That's something I'll probably start doing it every night before. So I go into an expectation for the next day where I can't do anything that, like, let's say, let's play Xbox, or let's go go get groceries. I literally won't do those things until I've accomplished those 5 or 10 things I should be doing in a day. And for me, that might include sending out emails, responding to course students, kind of like their questions, putting group messages in the Facebook chat, creating Facebook videos like these. Until I get those done, and I won't be able to do other things that I consider like pleasure. But I shouldn't really say that, because what I do is pleasure in my sense. Like, I love what I'm doing, and that's how I know I'm on the right path to success. So again, just create goals, have separating those that are into your daily habits, monthly habits, and then obviously you can look long term there, but be realistic with it. Don't say you're going to make $200,000 your first year. It doesn't even need to be monetary. If you don't think you can quit smoking in a month, don't set the expectation. Be realistic with yourself, because that will go so far when actually setting your goals. So the third point is, I will engage in self-improvement each and every day. And so for me, that includes reading. That's something I've been starting to do. I have 2 more books that I'm trying to complete by the next renewal that I have to return the books, because I get most of them. I'm just trying to go through the entire public library section of entrepreneurship, or the ones that I think I could read. That's a big point for me, is actually reading. But another thing could be if you want to involve yourself in self-improvement, that could be taking a course, doing research online, reading the newspaper, watching 30 minutes of news every single night. That's where self-improvement is. It's called self-improvement. It's not considered improvement, because obviously we all have our own goals and aspirations. So with that said, we need to set our own kind of expectation for what isn't going to improve our lives. For me and you, we probably don't have the same expectations, and me reading maybe one book might not be valuable to you that is doing something else for their kind of passion. So it really all depends, and you kind of have to dictate that yourself. But with that said, having self-improvement is definitely something you guys should implement in your daily habits. So the fourth one is, I will devote part of each day and every day in caring for my health. And that's one thing I say in all my YouTube videos. You can't have wealth without health, because if we're not around to make the money, we can't make any money, and that's pretty obvious. But for me, I ended up taking 2 years. I was really dedicated a couple years ago in the beginning of college to working out. And if you guys didn't know, I ended up just stopping it because I just kind of got discouraged, because for me, I was getting a bunch of acne and stuff like that. So for me, it was just, I didn't want to put myself out there, when reality, that just means I didn't respect myself. And looking back at it now, I don't regret it or anything like that. But now that I have the chance to be healthy again, eat healthy, make my own responsible decisions, and care for myself, now I'm a full-time adult after college, I need to respect my health. And obviously I recognize you can't have wealth without health. So for me, I'm going to the gym literally 5 to 6 days a week now. It's become a passion of mine again. I love watching other people do it. It's something I want to talk about a lot more on this channel, because again, you really can't, the two go interchangeably, and you can't have one without the other. So that you see sometimes CEOs saying I didn't work out for 10 years and now I make 6 figures every year. I'm a multi-millionaire, or I'm a billionaire. Yeah, that happens, but at what cost did that happen? Maybe they took 5-10 years out of their life because they grinded for 10 years, but that doesn't mean you can't take an hour or 2 out of your day to go ahead and work out. And if you guys say you can't go work out, you don't have time in the day, well, make time. If you are waking up at 5 a.m. and you think that's early, go wake up at 4 a.m. and go work out till 5 a.m. You'll realize how beneficial that really is. For me, that's just from personal experience. I obviously can't promise that for you, but I'm not an early morning riser for going out and working out. I usually work out midday, because it's kind of like a break for me to get my mind refreshed again. But for me, I get up early in the morning and I'll do my things. I don't need that extra push of working out to go be productive and stuff like that. But for some of you, you might need to, if you wake up at a certain time and you say you can't go ahead and go work out for an hour, well, wake up 1 hour earlier, an hour and a half earlier, even 30 minutes earlier, and go get an in-home workout in. Go to Lifetime Fitness, get a workout in. I can guarantee your productivity level will skyrocket 110%. Like I wouldn't say that if I didn't believe that and if I didn't try it out myself. So definitely implement that into your daily strategy. So the next point is something that I have been heavily working on in the past year for myself, and I'm going to go on a little bit tangent of it, but I will devote part of each and every day to forming lifelong relationships. And what that basically means is simply just networking, but how I say I'm going to go off on a tangent for it is also disbanding or getting rid of any toxic relationships. And for you, that might be a girlfriend, that might be a friend that you've had for many years, but those are for me, it was those people that really didn't believe in my vision. That's fine. I don't expect everybody to believe in my vision, but for them to go out of their way and say negative things in front of my face or behind my back, that's something I did not want to put up with, and I really did not need to put up with. Like, I had the choice not to put up with that, but for a long time I was putting myself in those situations where like I would let it happen to me. But if I simply don't hang around them, I don't follow them on social media, I don't make myself present to them, I don't give them attention, my life became 100% a lot more positive, and those positive affirmations started coming to me a lot easier. And that's something I'm going to talk about in another point here, those positive affirmations. But getting rid of those negative people, but also replacing them with positive people that are similar minded. For me, I do buying and selling phone flipping. So for me, I created the community, this YouTube, my Facebook group. In my course, I created all those communities to be able to surround myself with like-minded people. I didn't go out there and join any, but for me, I actually wanted to be kind of like at the center of it, just because I love having the attention and help and being able to help people literally every single day of my life. That's where I find my passion in. But if you don't want to be in front of a camera like me or something like that, for whatever reason, don't want to create a podcast or don't want to create a group, go join one. Go find Facebook groups, go search through Instagram. That's how I do most of my networking, simply shooting DMs to as many like-minded entrepreneurs, whether they're 18 or 60. I try to reach out as best as possible. I mean, obviously the younger generation is the one on Instagram, but there's so many platforms you guys can go out there to network, meet up. Like for me, I wanted to join the local Chamber of Commerce here. That was a great way to network with people, something I'm still hopefully going to be joining in the future potentially, but really just building those lifelong relationships, surrounding yourself with positive people, having those positive affirmations surround you literally every single day of your life will, one, make you a lot more motivated, and two, just make you a lot happier. Because if you're surrounding yourself with negative people, that takes a toll on you. If you guys don't know, it will really change your perspective on things if you make that shift. So definitely keep that in mind going forward. The sixth point is I will live each and every day in a state of moderation, which is, if you guys don't know what that means, basically just being balanced, not having excessive emotions, not having excessive addictions, not having days where you have excessive spending. It's all having that idea of we're in a life of a marathon. This isn't really a sprint. So being able to have that self-control is a big part of this point. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but just having like everything be balanced in your life, being able to control that will definitely improve your life tenfold. And it's definitely a worthy point in this list. So the seventh point I want to bring out is I will accomplish my daily tasks each and every day. I will adopt a do it now mindset. And I think this is a really big point in here, and something I have been working on like literally for the past year. Is not pushing anything behind. Obviously we get busy and some things need to push, but that doesn't mean I had the chance to do it and I chose not to. That's a big difference. Is I kept myself busy and I just didn't get a chance to actually go ahead and make that call, send that email. If I had the chance to do it and I didn't do it, I'm not following that rich people habit. So it's just all about that do it now mentality. We're living in a generation where people are consequently just getting a lot more lazy, and it's definitely probably one of the most important points on this list, is because it probably will affect the most of you. And like, be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, are you doing everything you can to live the life that you want, to have that relationship you want, to get that one thing done in a day? Like, if you're not reaching those goals, sit back, tell yourself, be truthful with yourself. Are you doing the things? Are you pushing things out of your daily habits? Are you purposely being lazy? Like, that will make the difference. And so consciously just think to yourself, are you doing the things that you should be doing to be able to get things done. If you are keeping busy and you have like a reason that you couldn't send out that email or make that call, perfectly fine. Things happen. People are busy. As long as you're keeping yourself busy to get to the point that you want in your life, that's a habit that I could say is worthy of having in your daily routine. So I think this is the 8th point, but I will engage in rich thinking each and every day. And that is all about the idea of having positive affirmations and having this optimism, not pessimistic mentality. And so that has a lot to do with surrounding yourself with the right people and just convincing yourself that you're doing the right thing. So a big thing I'm starting to do now, just very recently, is just having those positive affirmations. If I reach a goal, I don't have that mindset of, oh, that was great, but why didn't I surpass my goal? When I do something, when I make a $300 profit, I give myself congrats for it. It's like I literally tell myself, great job, Kish. Like I might not say it out loud, but having those positive affirmations, telling yourself that you're doing a good job, but that also means you're telling your, like, not necessarily to be negative, but you're also holding yourself accountable. If your goal was to reach $300 a day and you're reaching $150 a day, don't necessarily be like, yo, it's okay. Like that's only okay if you're not necessarily doing everything you can. But let's say you're doing everything you can in your power and you're slowly increasing your numbers to get to that $300 a day. Give yourself that positive affirmation. Tell yourself if you keep doing these things, you're going to reach your goals. But if you're in that point where you're doing $150, let's say you're doing $100 a day and you want to get to 300 and you played Xbox for 8 hours in those days, or you watched 2 Netflix shows for 2 hours, there's a point where you need to tell yourself, hey, why am I not reaching this $300? Imagine the amount of money I could have made in those extra 3 to 6 hours doing those other things I was doing that I really didn't need to do in the day. So that definitely will make a huge impact on your life. The 9th one is I will save 10% of my gross income every paycheck. So I put a quotes around the term paycheck. But with that said, having whatever it could be, it might be a paycheck or it might be an income source. Like for me, I buy and sell electronics, so that might be for every single device that I buy. Maybe I put 10% away to an investment that I want to invest in, or put in a retirement fund, or whatever it may be. Putting it somewhere where you're able to invest that money for that money to make more money, making sure that at least 10% is going to a place where you cannot spend it at all. You cannot access it for any personal reason other than investing in something. So that's something I probably found the most value out of in this book that I read. So again, that's all about just saving 10% of your gross income and putting that in a place where I would consider an investment pool. So the last one is I will control my thoughts and emotions each and every day. And this, honestly, it might sound very specific, but it pretty much encompasses everything I've talked about in this video. And that's just being able to control your thoughts, having positive affirmations, getting rid of those negative people, having those successful daily habits, telling yourself you shouldn't do this, you should be doing that, getting rid of those 2 hours of Netflix every single day, maybe not spending that $5 on coffee that you want to buy every morning when you could spend 30 cents just having a cup of coffee, filling it up at your own house. Those are being able to control your thoughts and emotions every single day. And maybe that might involve your relationship. Maybe that's just your relationship with somebody or with yourself. Like that is where it really encompasses this entire list. So just being able to control that, I think, is very important. And I think before anything, you really need to be in control of your emotions and your thoughts before you're able to go ahead and do any of this. Because if you don't know how to think the right way, and if you're not training yourself to at least be able to do that at some point, or if you're not trying to better yourself doing it, I don't think you're going to be able to follow any of these points, be able to make any of those daily tasks. So again, just be truly honest with yourself. That's the biggest thing I tried to do when reading this book. I told myself, be honest with yourself. Don't tell yourself that you are doing these when you're not doing these. Hold yourself accountable. So I went through each and everything one of these points, and I literally have them written down here. Like I had written these out like when I was reading, because one, I knew I'd make a YouTube video about it. But I went down the list and I said, hey Kish, what are you doing and what are you not doing? What can you change about your life? Because apparently he's not the guy to talk. This isn't like the way to get rich, but I think this guy has credibility here, and obviously he's onto something. So what am I not doing to be able to get to the point where I want? For me, that is to make $10,000 a month. That's my current goal in profit. So I laid it all out. If I want to work 5 days a week, that's $460 a day in profit I need to make. So every single day, and obviously for 7 days, I work 7 days a week. But I just wanted to put in a realistic perspective. I need to make like $360 or $380 a day in profit if I want to reach $10,000 a month. So putting in perspective, holding yourself accountable, and truly telling yourself if you're doing these daily habits or not doing these habits will truly make the difference for you. So with that said, that's pretty much everything I'm going to talk about this book. Again, if you want to read it, go check it out at your library. You'll probably have it, or you can probably find it on Amazon. But definitely go check out the book. It's pretty cool to recognize. He lays it out in a pretty interesting way. These are just the 10 points that I took from the book, and he does lay these out in these exact words that I said them. But he talks about each and every one and how you should pretty much perform them. So if you want to learn more in depth about it, I might leave a link down below. But with that said, if you enjoyed today's video, definitely give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it from you guys. And if you aren't subbed to the channel, hit that little subscription button down below. I'd really appreciate the support, guys. And if you made it this far in the video, you guys mean the world to me. Definitely stick around for the next one, because I am going to be uploading a lot more consistently now, just because I want it. Being on YouTube is a daily habit that I want to actually implement into my daily habits. So with that said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.